How you doing? This is BradScottArt, and I'm here to kind of show how I'm starting to set up my camper van. If you watched the first video, you know that I got a Ford Transit mid-roof, mid-body, and it's a little bit too big for what I need, so I'm trading it in. But I had to do a road trip to Indiana, from Florida to Indiana. I spent about a week on the road going up there to see my parents and then come back. And so I used the van as a camper van. I just didn't have anything built out. I put everything in here freestanding so that I could easily take it out. And I just kind of want to walk you through, the type of things I did, and the things I liked about it and the things I didn't. Let's take a look. So one of the things I really like about it is being able to open up the side door and the back doors here and getting that nice breeze. Oh, it feels so good. But because I was using this as a camper van and I stayed in it, I needed a few amenities. One of the first things I did was I didn't want people to see in while I was sleeping, so I just hung up some blackout curtains with, these are magnetic hooks, so that I didn't have to drill into the van. I see, there you go, magnetic hooks, so I didn't have to drill into the van. And in my van, I'll probably install them permanently, but for this van, since I'm trading it in, I didn't want to, mess it up. And then I've got these nice tension ropes to be able to adjust the hooks. And then I just put some blackout curtains, hung them on the rod there, so that I can easily black out the windows. But what I also did was I hung the same thing from the back to the cab. So I've got the hooks there side to side, and I could hang the blackout curtains to the front as well. So you can see from in here, as I come up close, I can see out a little bit, but if you're outside looking in, you can't see anything. One of the things I realized that I didn't need for sure was this second row of seating. I needed it when I drove around with my parents and my niece, but day in and day out, I've had this van for about 3 months, and I very rarely use that second row of seating. Don't need it. I did need power while I was camping out, so I had this little Jackery here. It's an Explorer 240. It was enough for what I wanted, but of course it's not going to be big enough for long-term. I'm going to probably wind up getting something around 1,500 to 3,000, but I'll have more on that as I do the build out. One of the other things I found out that I really needed was a lantern, a easy way for light. So my video is all over the place here. So having just a little light that I can set up for reading to make things easy was essential. And this one actually has flashlight. It runs off simple batteries, and it came in real handy. I also needed a portable cooler. Now, the one thing with the portable cooler was I continually forgot to plug it in. So that was my fault, dumb. So in the van that I permanently get, I'm gonna have to have a small refrigerator that's permanently installed, always running off the battery or the solar panels to keep things cool. Because I would go for a drink and then I'd realize that, oh man, I forgot to plug it in. Now, in the evenings, I would stretch out on my futon here. I just had a futon mattress set up, a couple of pillows, little book to read, and I could just sit here and either read my book or look at a movie on my iPad. So I realized that to occupy my time, I did not need a big elaborate system, because I was either outdoors, enjoying outdoors, or I was watching a movie on my iPad, or I was just sitting back reading a book on my futon. And then in the evening, I would just stretch the futon out and go to sleep. I was able to hang up clothes on one of the pillars there. So I always had clothes that were easily accessible, hung out, unwrinkled, not rolled up. And I was like, that's perfectly sufficient, so that's good to go. The rest of my clothes I kept in my duffel bag for drawers and underwear, socks, t-shirts, those type of things that didn't matter. And those were easily stowed in a duffel bag or a book bag. Easy. Little sweater, lots of water holders there. And then the bathroom. Here's my setup. And you know what? I loved it. It was perfect. I do have baby bladder and I have to pee a lot. So the portable urinal came in handy. And I have two. I have one back here for when I'm chilling in the evening. And then I keep one up front next to me while I'm driving, because I have had instances where I'm driving and you hit a roadblock and you're stuck in traffic, but you really gotta go pee. And I'm a guy, so I just kept this under the seat. I'd pull it out. Literally, I'd go to the bathroom, screw the cap on, and just keep on driving, never even have to get out of my seat. For women, that may not work as much, but there is a extension that you can get on there for women. Something to think about. And for number two, something that, you know, you think you might have to do a lot, and you're like, man, I don't want to have it. I realized that in the past week, it wasn't a big deal. I pee a lot, but I don't go number two a lot, once or twice a day. And this worked out perfectly. It is a folding camping stool. Your poo goes in the bag, you tie up the bag, and you throw it away as if you were walking your dog. It's perfect. Why? Because when I wasn't using that, I could just fold it up, tuck it on the side, and it was out of the way, and then I had the floor space back. So that is something that I'm definitely going to do in my van. Is I'm not going to try to go for a cassette toilet or something permanent. I'm just going to go with the folding camping stool. I'll have the bags, and when I got to go poo, I'll do that in the bag, throw it away, and then, you know, when I have a chance to go to a full restroom, I will. But it worked out perfectly. I used this every day, and because it doesn't sit in the van, because I tie it up, it doesn't smell at all. And I did have a little air freshener next to it, just in case. So it may smell right exactly when you're doing it, but as soon as you tie it up, so like at night, if I didn't want to get out the van and I just said I'm going to throw it away in the morning, not a problem. There was no smell, and then I just had it tied up by the door, and then in the morning I threw it away. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. So that's kind of my setup. So I hope you liked this little quick walkthrough of how I used my van for my first camping trip. Like I said, I spent about a week on the road going from Florida to Indiana, and I realized some of the things I really liked, some of the things I didn't like. And so I'll be trading this van in about a month or two, and then I'll be able to start permanently installing some things. But I loved it. I loved it. As raw as this setup was, without a lot of the amenities and niceties, I used this for a week, no problem, no discomfort, enjoyed it, slept here, drove, ate, entertained myself, not a problem. I could have spent another week on the road, no problem. I kept a little garbage bag tied up between the driver's seat and the passenger seat. I just throw my trash in there, and at the end of the day, I throw it out, not a problem. So I know I definitely need a bigger battery pack and some solar. I also have to figure out the heating cooling situation, which I don't have a firm grip on yet. It's June when I took this trip, and I thought the weather would just be great, but I was thinking Florida. Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana at night gets a little chilly even in the summertime. So I found myself the second night, was either the first or second night, woke up at the middle of the night like, why am I so cold? And then I opened up the door, I'm like, oh my God. And because I live in Florida, I'm not as used to the cold temperatures anymore, like from when I was raised in Indiana. If I was still in Indiana, I probably would have thought it was perfect. But I've been in Florida for, 2 decades. So I've got to figure out how to heat and cool the area without a lot of power, I probably won't go with a Wabasco heater because I don't plan on doing any snow camping. That's not for me. But just in case I get into a place where the temperature drops below freezing, I want to be able to heat and cool. And in Florida, it does get over 90, 100 degrees. So I want to be able to ventilate really nice. Like today is mid 80s, and just by opening the door, it's perfect. It's perfect. So I know I'm going to add in a few vents to keep a cross breeze going. But more on that. I just wanted to give a quick walkthrough, tell you about my trip to Indiana. It was perfect. I loved it. It was beautiful, and I'm definitely down for van life. All right, you all take it easy. More to come. BradScottArt on everything, all social media. I'm Brad, and I'm an artist, which is why BradScottArt. And stay tuned.